was driving across the highway in the last couple of weeks. And one of the things that I noticed as I was driving my car is that when I got in, it was like easy. I was like, okay, it's my car. I know how to drive it. And things were going really smoothly. And then the longer that I was on the road, the more I felt like I was gripping the steering wheel and I was having to apply more pressure to keep my car in the lanes. And there wasn't necessarily a lot of wind or anything going on. However, my car, even though it's in alignment, was drifting. And I would find that I'd have to kind of correct more. And then I thought, why does my steering wheel have to be a little off into the edge and things like that? Now, we all know that the road that we're traveling on, it changes, right? Especially from state to state. And so roads are sometimes they're bumpy or they have dips in them or different things like that. And so you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel so that my car does not continue to drift. And sometimes I'll turn on cruise control because I have that lane control thing where it'll like keep it within the lanes, and that helps so I don't have to cling to the steering wheel so hard. So typically after about 4 or 5 hours, I'm pretty drained by some of that. And again, my car is in alignment, right? But I mention this because I think it has a lot to do with what happens the longer that we're driving in a year, right? In January, we are fresh out of the gate and we are so excited to get started and take off. And some people fall off around week 3, but I realize that's not you. You're still in it to win it, right? But we're now past that midpoint of the year and we are far enough along in the 3rd quarter, coming up on 4th quarter soon, right? And these are some final turns in the year. And depending what industry you're in, there's a lot that's getting ready to come up in Q4, or maybe things are getting ready to wind down for you. But no matter what industry that you are in, as we come close to the end of the year, it is really, really wise for us to really decide how much of what we decided to do at the beginning of last year, right? How much of what we decided to do as we started this year, where are we at with that? We have to stop and go, hang on, I need to determine where I am so that I can pay attention, right? What are the road conditions like now? When I started, they were smooth sailing. Everything was great. My hands weren't tired. The tires were fresh. Everything was good. But now, past the midpoint of the year, where are we running down a little bit? Are we in alignment still? Are we starting to drift? Have we entered a new state? Right? Mental or otherwise. And so I just want to encourage you today, if you're feeling like there's a little bit of drift happening and you're not quite on track anymore, I want to invite you to consider what it looks like to hop into a momentum reset, right? Take that time to get back on the road, take a breather, right? Like they tell you all the time, if you're tired, rest, right? They have those signs as you're driving. Take a rest, take a pause, and make sure that you're still headed in the direction that you want to be going and that you're not drifting off into something else. Because I can tell you, it's super annoying and really, really tiring to have to feel like you're course correcting all the time while you're on the road. And so I just want to invite you, if you feel like there's been some drift in your year, I think that's pretty normal and standard. So do what you need to do to slow that down, take a compassionate pause, get into a space where you can move out of that adaptive headspace and get very natural and quiet and get some direction and some barriers and some new tips and tricks around you so that you can finish this year strong. Because the reality is we're getting ready to plan another year, guys, and it's so exciting. I would love to see you in the room in our momentum reset. And if for some reason it's sold out, let's grab a Pick My Brain session soon or figure out how we can connect, maybe even book a business planning clinic so that we can make sure you are set to roll as you finish this year strong, because it's not too late, even if you've experienced a little drift.